Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Marcus Speaks. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Marcus Speaks Live, the very podcast that gives you everything such as trending topics and other random topics. I'm your host, Marcus. Please, everybody, if you could, if you guys are here, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe if you are new here. Hit that bell icon to all so you get all of my notifications once I go live. All right? Other than that, please do yourself a favor, right into the comment section. If you look into the comment section now, I have something pinned there. I will get to that in just a moment. But in the meantime, if you could please go and subscribe if you haven't already done so, as I said, to this here channel. Also, go to the description box, and when you see the Rumble link, please hit that link. If you haven't downloaded the app already, please do so, and then go over to Rumble and follow me at Marcus Speaks. All right? Go to the link in the description box below, and also please check out all the other links that's down there as well. I do a show on Friday, which this is not the normal show that I usually do. My Marcus Speaks Play, which is a gaming stream, is on hiatus until I can find a game to play for you guys. Just today, bought some new headphones. It has some connection pieces in there that I needed, so I will be able to speak to people, on the streams, as well as you guys in the audience. If I'm playing like a multiplayer game, I can talk to the people that I'm playing with. So, enough said. Both shows come on at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But until I get that squared away, this here show, Marcus Speaks Live, which usually comes on at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays, I will be doing this show give or take whatever day, Friday or Saturday, depending on the week. So the weeks I get paid, which is not this week, I'll probably do that show on Saturday. But if I get my research done with my topics, then I will be doing that on Friday. But like today, I got stuff done early, so I'm here today. So please, my schedule is usually game stream Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then a podcast on Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But until then, which I probably won't find a new game until maybe fall, like September, maybe. So until then, I'll be doing this here show on either day, Friday or Saturday, give or take. So please check me out. Pay attention to the post that I put up. I usually have a post on the day before that I broadcast, and then I have I give which I didn't do, which I will do now. I usually give out a post that I'm live, or please remember to come through and whatever. So I will be doing that as we speak right now to all my social medias. Which, let's see, pick a song. Alright, I shared it off to all my social medias. For people who may not know that I am live, they now know that I am live. So, with that being said, all right, have a few more things to go through. Let me hit that theme song once more. Sounds so good, don't you agree? So as I said, please don't forget to check me out. I will reiterate again before I move on. My podcast, this podcast, will be on either day, give or take the week. So this week it's on Friday. Next week it may be on Saturday. Or if I get my research done, it'll be on earlier. It'll be on Friday. So with that being said, if you see a video get posted, please check the day that I have on there, and then go about your day. Anyway, if you would like to come up here and talk about any of the topics that I have presented tonight, please do yourself a favor. Either hit the link that I have pinned in the live chat, or you can call them with the call-in number. So please hold off on doing that until I give the okay. But if you want to just sit in the queue back here, you can. You'll see all the things that I do back here. But if you don't, sit in the audience, and then when I give the cue to, hey, everybody come on up, please either hit the link or call the call-in number. So the way I'll do it, people who hit the link, they'll go first, and then everybody else who hit the number, I will get them in next. So please do yourself a favor. Either hit the link or hit the call-in number at 302-283-9791. I'll reiterate, 302-283-9791. Everything's pinned in the live chat, so please do yourself a favor. But if you want to come up here, there are some rules. Y'all probably like, damn, I thought I could just come up, be me. You can be yourself, but there are some rules I need you to follow once you're back here. Rule number one, if you hit that link, you must be on camera at all times back here. I need to know who I'm speaking with and who I will be speaking with. So please do yourself a favor. Give yourself a nice, clean name that I can pronounce and everything. I don't have an issue pronouncing people's names, but please make it clear and concise, and so I can help you out by coming up here. Also, if you don't want to be on camera, if you hit the link, it's best if you just call the number. But if you just want to hit the link, come in, say something real fast, that is an option to not be on camera to the public, but you still have to follow Rule 1. All right, so I'll let you know. There's a question back here that I would like for you to answer. Please let me know what your name and your answer, what you would like me to do, so I can, or what you would like to do, so I can better accommodate you. Okay. All right. Rule number 3. Please silence all background noise, any phones, any television, screaming kids, barking dogs. If your cat's meowing, I don't want to hear anything. So please silence all background noise, or go to a nice secluded spot in your house so you can speak. All right. And lastly, I just would like to reiterate, please like this video, subscribe if you're new here, hit that bell icon to all, and then share this to your friends, family, your co-workers, people you hate, people you love, people you don't really give a damn about. And share this to your social medias, please. All right? Now, with that being said, if you ever have watched this podcast before, if you know, I like playing videos. So with that being said, I have to follow U.S. law and other laws in other countries if I'm broadcasting there. With that being said, also, I would like to follow YouTube's guidelines and policies. So, if you guys don't know what fair use is, well, this is fair use.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to tell you about fair use. It's the law. Warning. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107.
All right, that's fair use, everybody. So, before we go forward, another little thing I have to interject for the algorithm. Every video that I present here tonight and every article that I will be reading to you, well, hold on, let me separate those. Every article that I will be reading to you guys and presenting to you guys have been altered in its original state. That is due to I can, so it's fair use. It's not plagiarism and all that other good shit. So yeah. With that being said, that's altered in its original state, and every single video that I play here tonight, I do not own, but I will be using because of fair use. So, with that being said, all articles and all videos are accredited in the description box below. So, so I don't have to sit here and be like, yeah, shout out to something. No, I'm not doing all that. It's all accredited in the description box below. All right. Now, we got all that out of the way. I hope I did. Let's see. Yep, got all that out the way. So, people, let's get into a little bit of banter. So, if you guys haven't seen this lately, it's been all over the internet. So, Dr. Umar Johnson, I don't know if you guys know who Dr. Umar Johnson is. I'll show a picture real fast if you don't. I should have had a picture waiting, but Anyway, let's find the picture. So here's the good doctor right here. Let me zoom in. Hold on. Is there a way I can single out the picture? Open a new tab. Yeah, let's do that. Or no, I just want the picture. Open imaging new tab. There we go. So this is Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm pretty sure everybody knows who Dr. Umar Johnson is. So Dr. Umar Johnson recently was on an episode of the Daily Wrap Up Cruise podcast. So Dr. Umar went on there and he, got into a little bit of a heated debate. Now, my banter will go into my main topic tonight because everything kind of coincides with each other. So, Dr. Umar was on the Daily Wrap Up Cruise podcast, and Dr. Umar was basically trying to let these guys know the way, because what came up was that the the young men were, how can I put this? The young men were frustrated because they feel as though that the women in today's society are not up to their standards because of some reason. All right. They feel as though that the dating pool in today's society is a bunch of shit. Hold on real fast. If you guys see the scrolling ticker down at the bottom, please read that. That is for you. Has all of my social medias, things you can suggest me, how you can get those suggestions to me, and so on and so forth. Read that below. But anyway, let me get back. So, Dr. Umar Johnson was on this podcast, and this is what the debate came to, and this is what he had to say when it came to this here topic.
Yes, they have a role. Yes, they have responsibility. But as a man, as a leader, to say I can't fix this shit unless she changes, that's not the definition of a man.
I don't see. I think we're on two different accords. Like, I don't think we're saying that. What I'm saying is I'm capable of being that leader, that provider. I've worked hard in my life. We tell black men that we have to now deal with masculine women with children.
Why is she masculine? Because she's had to raise the kids alone. Not one woman, so brother. A whole community.
So you mean to tell me the only woman I could look forward in my life is a masculine woman that has kids by other men?
No.
That's what I have to look forward to?
But I'm telling you, mistakes made by black men systemically gave rise to the conditions that allowed her to be masculine and made her end up with a man that you consider to be less than what he should be.
All right. Now, I'm going to leave that video up because this also is... This video also has to do with the same thing. Now, let's take Dr. Umar's point. Dr. Umar said that answering the question of the young man, I don't know everybody's name individually on the podcast other than Dr. Umar. So the fellas basically were saying that should they accept a masculine woman because of the circumstances of which she either put herself through or was given. Now, Dr. Umar rebutted that no, it's not your fault, or no, you don't have to accept that, but the Pookies and Ray Rays and Man Mans and all of them is a byproduct of these women. And the reason why they are a product of these women is because they had no other choice but to raise the children by themselves. They had no other choice. So, because of another Pookie, Man Man, and Ray Ray, and all them other good folks, was, the type of men that just hit it and quit it. Now, this is how I feel about this situation. Because some people probably won't understand, or some people don't understand, such as men, don't understand Dr. Umar's point when he was saying what he was saying. Here's what Dr. Umar is saying. The reason why that women in today's society are masculine is because of a lack of either or a father figure or a man that they feel as though isn't masculine enough to bring them to their femininity. Now, I will say this. I do agree with the young man who said that isn't our fault. I agree with that. It isn't men. Well, never mind. I'll pull that back. Black men, it is our fault. Here's why. Let's go down a little history lesson. Late 1960s to the early and now, or the early 1970s on till now, separated the black man from the black home, and the dominant society, or the government, gave black women another way to live, which was they offered them food stamps, a place to live, and a check every month. This is what we call welfare. Well, the welfare system came about. So, as more and more women started to divorce their husbands, or not even think about being married with their baby's fathers, or children's fathers, this is the product of what we have now. So more and more women tend to, I won't say more and more, but a good handful of women tend to go about this life. They tend to, not be with the man either during or after childbirth. They tend to not be with the man at all. Now, it's an exception to the rule, because there are couples out there who are still together and wed, even if they had children or not. Now, Dr. Umar made a point. His point was, and you guys can go to the Daily Wrap Up Cruise podcast and watch the 2-part episode of their interview with Dr. Umar. But basically, what was said in that interview was this on this topic. It was basically said that when coming into a relationship with the women of today's society, it's kind of hard because most of the women are masculine. They tend to have masculine personality traits, or mannerisms, or personalities. Here's the reason why. Because most black people come from single parent households. Most of the time in those single parent households are women taking care of these children. With that being said, what do you think a little girl looks at in this type of situation in a single parent household? She looks at her mother as her leader, as does the boy. But the 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 young girl also sees what the mother goes through. So the mother might be a little hardened because there's no man to soften her up, because the mother has to take the roles of both man and woman, mother and father, husband and wife. So, they get a little toughened up or whatever. So then there is this woman dating. So you gotta remember, if a woman's running a household by herself, taking care of her kids by herself, and making a way by herself, if a man tries to step in, most of the time it's kind of like a territory type of thing, where she's kind of standoffish to a man invading her space and what she built for herself and her children. So a woman will most likely be a little tough or whatever around the edges. But with the right man, that woman will soften up. I've seen it plenty of times because I come from a single parent household. My mother took care of me. I've seen my mom date. I've seen how she would soften up when, you know, her boyfriends would come around. She wouldn't be the tyrant that I've known her as, but you know, I got to see a different side of my mother. So, with that, it's also a indicator when these sort of situations come about and these conversations come about where one side is basically blaming the opposite side. But I'm here to tell you both on both sides. It's both of our faults. What? Yes, it's both of our faults. This is why it's both of our faults. Because if you take a young man who is in the situation of living in a household with just his mother, then he will then see what type of woman or women are out there. Now, I grew up with two sisters. I have three in all and an older brother. Well, all of my siblings are older than me, but you know, my oldest sibling is my brother, and then I have three sisters, two that I live with, one on my father's side, and my brother's also on my father's side. So I grew up with three women in all, and I've seen all sorts of emotions, all sorts of emotional expressions, all sorts of, you know, emotions, basically. And I'll tell you, it was tough. But you know, growing up as the only boy in a household, you know, it's not what you think it is. It's very hard to have to be around all that extra shit. So, this is why I blame both sides. Is because a man isn't trying. Well, yeah. Let me finish that. A man isn't trying to be with a woman that's like that, because a man doesn't want one of his boys around or whatever. He wants a soft, supple woman that he can hold and squeeze onto. He doesn't want a tyrant that is basically, you know, all up in his face. He wants a nice, feminine woman around him. Because a man will look at himself as the leader. I'm the leader. I would like for you to follow my lead and all this other good stuff and whatever. And then there's the woman. The woman will basically be very forthright, very honest in her stance. She will stand on her square, and she will also speak her mind. And most of the time, this is where arguments come about. This is where men start calling women bitches. This is where women start calling men fuck niggas, fuck boys, you know, all kinds of crazy shit. So it's both of our faults in here. Basically, Dr. Umar was talking about the black community. So it's both of our faults in this community. This is why. This is what I wanted to get to. Because most black men grow up in a single parent household. So what he saw at home is basically what he doesn't want. But at the same time, he still wants that. What do I mean by that? Let me explain. Now, that man has saw his mother for, you know, sun up to sundown as a child and a teenager, and some of us as, you know, grown men until we move out of the house. We have seen our mothers day in and day out go to work, make a check, come home, bring it home, do what she has to do with it, pay bills, rent, or mortgage, or whatever. You know what I mean? Bills. We saw the stress in their faces. We saw it all. But at the same time, we also are making no sense because we say, "Oh, I want a woman that can cook like my mother and clean like my mother and blah 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 blah." But then at the same time, you then choose one of these whores out here that are reciting Cardi B lines, "I don't cook, I don't clean," and then you get upset because you're now around a woman that you felt as though you didn't want to be around in the first place. That's the issue. Instead of a man or men like that can't reach within themselves and their manliness and become the leader that they're supposed to be, become the uh the the masculinity in the household that the household needs, instead of trying to be that leader to that woman, you complain about it like a woman, and then there's arguments that happen. Now let's hit this on the woman's side. Because you gotta remember, most black women grew up in the same type of situation as the black man. No father around, watching her mother day in and day out, taking points from the mother of what they're gonna do once they get older. Well, my mama didn't have a man doing this, so I'm not gonna have a man doing that. I'm not gonna allow a man to do this. I'm not gonna allow a man to do that. And then bitterness takes over. Then it's that typical song that they always sing, "I want a man," and it's like, you can have one. You just have to soften your stance. That's all you have to do. You just have to soften your stance. If you soften your stance and you basically attract what you want to be attracted to, then you'll get somewhere. But all of the neck snapping, the smart mouth, the talking back and all that's not needed, ladies. It's not needed at all. We don't need that as men from you. So go back to your divine feminine. Get back into what you saw your great grandmother back in the day do when she was around your great grandfather. Now, you, we only seen the end product of their relationship. This is all of us. We only seen the end product of our grandparents or great grandparents, because they went through shit too. They went through the fights. They went through the arguments. They went through the you know the trouble in their relationships. They went through all of that. The only thing is, they persevered. They got through it, and they saw the light on the other side. And that light is what we saw. We saw them every Sunday if we went over for family dinners. We saw them every Sunday sitting on the porch right next to each other. You probably saw your grandfather reading Sunday's paper as your grandmother was fanning herself in the sun with either some lemonade or some tea or some water, as your grandfather either had a beer or some of that sweet tea that your grandmother made, or some lemonade that your grandmother made while he was reading his paper. As you know, if you grew up in the country, you saw the family dogs running around. So instead of looking at other aspects of people that we see either on social media or famous celebrities or whatever, looking at their relationship as relationship goals, maybe you should go ahead and try and create your own relationship goals, such as not not being difficult with the person or someone that you want to attract. Because this is all about polarity, people. It's all about polarity, because we want to attract someone that we feel as though is going to be nice to us, have our backs, be down 10 toes. But you gotta remember, this is a relationship. Relationships have to work themselves out. So you're going to have the hardships. But I do understand for all of the women out there and men that you don't want to have to you you feel as though you shouldn't have to fight in order to be in love with somebody or try to fall in love with somebody. I understand that entirely. I understand it. But this is what you have to understand at the end of the day. If you want pressure makes diamonds, which a diamond is very precious to whoever sees value in it. So what you have to do, you have to seek value into the person you want to be with. Such as you have to look into one of these hardened women that you say are single mothers and whatever about them being hardened because their baby father left them after the whole ordeal of their relationship and so on and so forth and whatever. But this is what you have to understand with that. The reason why they're like this is because they see a responsibility that they have to take care of that isn't going anywhere. So instead of complaining, fellas, how about we as men seek what they want, tell them what we need, and then work with each other. Now, y'all might be saying, Marcus, that sounds all good on paper and by you saying it, but we in the real world. I understand this, man. I have my own personal issues and stuff like that when I'm in relationships and stuff like that. I have my own personal shit when it comes to it. But guess what I don't do? Complain. I don't complain at all. But, it's just one of those days. It's just that it's just something that you have to work towards. Now, this video that I have here is basically a woman about to explain how she feels about the man that she is with. And here it goes.
This is what it's like being married to a fucking bum. Like, I'm so over this. This man is still asleep. He did not take my children to summer camp. I paid $5,000 for my children to go to summer camp, and he did not take them. I'm just over it. They always say, when you get sick and tired. So I decided I just want to be single. If I got to do everything like I'm a single mom and depend on my mama and my brother to help me, I might as well be single. I start packing up this man's stuff and put it outside. Look how beautiful it is. Like, my children's supposed to be at summer camp. I still haven't been to the NICU to see my baby. I'm over it. I'm finna have to just act like I ain't sick and do this shit by myself.
All right, let's go back to that. Now, the woman's complaining because she feels as though she's not getting any help from the man that she is with. Now, we don't know their full story. We don't know their full story at all. They're, for all we know, the reason why he's asleep, I don't even know what time of day that was. Let's say it was like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning. We don't know if this man works late at night. We don't know if this man, we don't know if this man, has to be to work. He works night shift, or we don't know. We don't know. All we know is that she feels frustrated because she feels as though in the relationship that she is in, She feels as though that she is a single mother and she'd rather do her own thing than be with somebody that is not holding up his side of the bargain. That's the story that we got, but we don't know the full story. We don't know if this man is, maybe he's out of work, so, he's trying to, I don't know. Like there's so many variables that go into this. Now she said that he didn't get up and take the children to summer camp or whatever, and she'll do it herself. She shouldn't have to ask her mother or her brother for help. But we don't know the backstory of any of this. We just know what we saw. So let's play it again.
This is what it's like being married to a fucking bum. Like, I'm so over this. This man is still asleep. He did not take my children to summer camp. I paid $5,000 for my children to go to summer camp, and he did not take them. I'm just over it. They always say, when you get sick and tired. So I decided I just want to be single. If I got to do everything like I'm a single mom and depend on my mama and my brother to help me, I might as well be single. I start packing up this man's stuff and put it outside. Look how beautiful it is. Like, my children's supposed to be at summer camp. I still haven't been to the NICU to see my baby. I'm over it. I'm finna have to just act like I ain't sick and do this shit by myself.
All right. So we see her packing up. Let's get to that. So we see her packing up, I guess, his car with all of his things. And she's basically throwing them out because she's sick and tired of being sick and tired. Now, I understand this completely. I was difficult in a relationship before when I had lost my job. It wasn't for long. It was only for like a week and a half. But for that week and a half, I was very moody and I basically slept after I would, wake up early in the morning, take a shower, and then go gallivanting to go and try and find a new job. Once I was done, because after lunch, after what, like 11, 11:30, maybe 12, ain't nobody paying attention to you. Like, don't nobody give a fuck about um, giving you a application or whatever, or they're not answering the phones after 11, 11:30, like, or 12 o'clock. Like, they're not answering the phones after that time. Like, you missed the time frame of what you should be calling to get answers of if anybody checked your application or reviewed your resume or whatever. They don't care. So, I would be chilling in the house, sleep for a few hours, and then I'll wake up moody because I ain't got nowhere to be. I don't have a job. I'm not making any money or whatever. Although I had money in the bank, but still. But a week and a half will do a lot to you. But let's say this man is out of work. Let's say he's been out of work for 6 months. We have, you know, just got off of the pandemic. So let's say he got um let's say he got fired from his job because of the pandemic. Certain people couldn't work. Certain people was collecting unemployment. So certain people were not, you know, doing what they would usually do, which is being at work. So, by her doing that, which also goes into the Dr. Umar video, this is the masculine trait of which the young man was talking about. She's sick and tired of being sick and tired, and she got kids, and this man ain't helping me, and I gotta do all this by myself. I gotta ask other people to help me out. Well, as I said earlier, we don't know if that's the full story. We don't know the full story other than this 39-second clip of what she shared. Now, if that is the real story, if she is doing everything that she said is true by, he's not helping out, he's not waking up early enough to do what he has to do for the kids. Hell, who knows if those kids is his kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, she said she's married, but she didn't say that the kids were theirs. She just said my kids. So, taking ownership as a a mama bear would do. So, but all only thing that we can go off of is what we saw. So, you know, kids wasn't dropped off at summer camp. She can't do what she needs to do. So she's frustrated that the man isn't doing what he's supposed to do, whatever that means. But fellas, fellas, if you ever hear that, get the fuck away. If you hear a woman go, I ain't doing what I'm supposed to do because you ain't doing what you supposed to do, get the fuck away from her. Please get the fuck away from her, because it's just gonna get worse after that. It always gets worse before it gets better. Get the fuck away from her, because she's basically telling you you're not shit. And by her telling you that you ain't shit, you ain't gonna be shit in her eyes. So it's best if you just get the fuck away from her. So, my final thoughts on all of this is, with both the Dr. Umar video with his debate with the Daily Wrap-Up crew and with this video, look, it's both of our faults. For some reason, we feel as though that we have all the answers, but when it comes to executing those solutions, it seems as though it's still a traumatic thing to where we're still blaming each other. Women are still blaming men for the reason why they act the way that they're acting, and men blame the women because of their actions towards women. So it's both of our faults. Until we stop pointing the finger and fixing ourselves first before getting into a relationship. And fellas, you gotta understand this. Yeah, it's cool to be with a female that doesn't have any kids that you can plan a life with, but how many females got pregnant when you was in high school? Like I like it's just, to me, finding a woman that doesn't have kids nowadays, and I'll be 35 this year. So for me to go, oh, I'd never date a chick that got kids, which I do say most times, but I'm not going to find a 34, 35-year-old woman that doesn't have children. And if she doesn't have children, then that pussy is trash. I'm just saying, ladies. I'm just saying. So, the last thing I'll say on this is basically, if you just stop complaining and do what you need to do to get whoever you feel as though that you need to be with, then do that. Quit fucking complaining. Because nobody likes a complainer. This is the reason why black men and black women are at each other's throats, is because we are just complaining. What are the solutions? How are we going to get out of this? How are we going to become as one as we see all of our other racial counterparts do? Because the Puerto Rican man and the Puerto Rican woman, they don't have an issue with being with each other. The Mexican man and the Mexican woman don't have an issue with being with each other. The Chinese man or the Korean man doesn't have an issue with being with the Korean woman or the Chinese woman. They don't have issues. The white man doesn't have an issue being with the white woman. What is our problem? You guys answer that in the chat. that concludes the banter for today. It was a little long, but I wanted to talk about this. So, the overview for the main topic of tonight is trouble in the family. Russell Simmons versus Kimora Lee Simmons and their daughters. So, this first video I'm about to show to you guys tonight comes from ET or Entertainment Tonight. The article that I will be reading to you guys tonight comes from People Magazine, which I altered the title, but the real title's in the description box below. But it says, "Enough is enough. Russell Simmons blasted by ex Kimora Lee Simmons and daughters." So, if you guys don't know what's been going on with this, basically Russell Simmons has been in a Def Jam, and basically with his daughters and his ex-wife Umar Simmons, and it's been very heated after a post was posted on social media, I believe Instagram, from Kimora Lee, and then Russell Simmons caught wind of it, and then it's been a whole shitstorm since then. But this is what's going on with this whole debacle.
Please don't attack my children. They've been through so much.
Kimora Lee Simmons breaking down in tears over Russell Simmons' alleged abusive behavior.
Don't attack my family, which is supposed to be your family too. Don't do that because you're at rock bottom. I don't know. Hypothetically, you're at rock bottom. You've hit the bottom. I don't know. You're grasping at straws. I don't know if this is a money grab. I don't really know what this is.
It all went down after Kimora and Russell's eldest daughter, Ming, wished Kimora a happy Father's Day.
Hold on. We ain't gonna just breeze past that. God damn, I didn't know that their daughter looked like this. Their eldest daughter? Jesus Christ. Anyway, let me quit trolling.
Kimora and Russell's eldest daughter, Ming, wished Kimora a happy Father's Day instead of Russell. The Def Jam Records co-founder responded, seemingly alleging Kimora's the one making it hard to be a father to his daughters, sharing this image of a sign reading, "Stop telling fathers they should have fought harder to see their children, and start asking mothers why he had to fight at all." ET has reached out to Russell for comment.
Let's talk about that. So, I know that this usually coincides when it comes to men and women who basically either were married before or people who just was in a relationship and they had a child and then it didn't work out. So now the father is fighting harder than what he ever had to fight in his life to see his children or his child, because sometimes the mothers do make it difficult for men to see their child. So I will say this: in most cases, not all, but in most cases, fathers do have to do a little more than usual in the mother's eyes in order to get their approval to see the child. Basically using the child as ammunition against the father. So usually this does happen, but I don't know if this happened in their relationship after they got divorced back in, I believe it was in 2009 or something like that. So they, from what I, just outside looking in, when they was married, seemed like it was a great relationship. I don't know as far as at the end of the day, but they both moved on, and seems as though that he, was able to be in his children's lives and take care of them and make them comfortable and stuff like that because they, they're rich. So it's not much that Russell Simmons didn't have to do. Like, he basically could throw money at it if he wanted to. But if he feels as though that he's fighting more than average than what he should, then there's an issue. I feel as though that there's an issue. If Kimora Lee is keeping his children away from him, but as far as what I see, you know what I'm saying, like they'll play the I believe that they'll play the video between his youngest daughter and himself. But if we set all that aside, it looks like he has access to his children. It looks like he can speak to them whenever he wants. It seems as though that Kimora's not trying to. Plus they old. Like, I won't say that. I shouldn't have said it like that. They're not old, but they're adults now, so they can make their own decisions as they see fit. If they want to get counsel from their mom, then cool. Then they're being a family. That's what families do. If they feel that they want to seek counsel from Russell, then they're doing what they're supposed to do. That's what families do. But if there is an issue where Russell Simmons is being looked at as the bad guy and Kimora is keeping his daughters away from him, then there is an issue. All right, so let's continue.
Why he had to fight it all. ET has reached out to Russell for comment.
It's like the mama cub watching the babies, and you want them to go out there and take the world by storm, but you're also kind of protective.
Of course, Kimora and Russell, who were married from 1998 to 2009, share 23-year-old Ming and 20-year-old Aoki.
They're good kids. They're beautiful kids. They support me and I support them.
And on Monday, Kimora got emotional during an Instagram Live, alleging Russell has been verbally attacking them and lying about the status of their family's relationship.
I've tried to go to lawyers and get help. I've tried to show all the crazy texts I've had to block. Like, you do crazy like send flowers to yourself and take a picture and post it on the gram and tell everybody I sent you flowers. Again, I have receipts of all of this.
Aoki also went live on Instagram to explain that while she's defended her dad in the past, she can't anymore. He has done awful things to me, and I'm so tired of it.
This is just not the father that I know, or the father that I've had. To this day, I would never let a man talk any kind of way to me because my dad was always good to me, and then he just completely changed.
Aoki says she's been scared to speak up in the past because her dad is so beloved in the entertainment industry, writing in part that he has...
Here's my issue. Why now and why did you make it public? Because if you've been dealing with this, I don't know, for past what, 12, not 12, but what, past 14, 15 years now, then why come out about it now? Like, if they're going through so much turmoil since the divorce, since I guess, they had to split custody, or let's say Kimora had, all the custody and Russell had to pay child support and spousal support and whatever, then what is the issue? Because Russell, I don't know how much money Russell got, nor do I care. But if there's an issue, then maybe they should. Really, this is a family. This is a family. What's the word I'm looking for? A family therapist issue now. Like, go in for help. Tell each side. Now, some men might say, "Nah, that's not a good idea because the therapist is going to take the girls in Kimora's side. We don't know this, all right? Get both sides out and then hash it out. Like, make it to where, it's livable to be away from each other, to where he doesn't have to send, if it is true, crazy texts. Maybe to where he doesn't have to yell and scream each time he talks to the girls. Like, make it to where it's easy for all four of y'all, really. Like, maybe it's something that Russell's seeing that he doesn't like, and he's only airing it out because it keeps happening. Who knows what's going on? But we only got what they told us. Let's continue.
Threatened and bullied her sister, her grandmother, and mother. My father is not well for years. He needs help and won't accept that. He refuses to acknowledge he is not himself. She also shared several screenshots of alleged text messages with Russell where he calls her mother a piece of and this clip of a FaceTime on mute, where it appears Aoki is crying while her dad yells at her. As for Kimora, she says they're done being pushed around, sharing this message to her Insta story. We won't be bullied, threatened, or afraid. And Russell seems he's trying to make amends, posting a lengthy apology, including deeply sorry for being frustrated and yelling. But know this, there are no conditions. I love you guys more than I love myself. And while Kimora may be battling with her ex, when E.T. chatted with her earlier this month, she said she has nothing but pride for her girls, who both recently graduated from college. Aoki from Harvard, Ming from NYU.
I feel very, very complete. I have great companions. I have great co-pilots in life, and I just feel super, super blessed. That's not to say that you don't have drama. All of us have our dramas, right? People really do say, like, it's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get back up.
All right. Well, let's say that, they can get work through this. But let's get to this People magazine article, and it states, just one day after Father's Day, Russell Simmons appeared to be at the center of a massive family feud. On Monday, the Def Jam recording executive shared an Instagram story that seemed to target his ex-wife. Kimora Lee Simmons stopped telling fathers they should have fought harder to see their children and start asking mothers why he had to fight at all. The post read. Kimora, 48, took to her own Instagram story to share details behind family tension, where she lobbed serious allegations against the father of her two children, Ming Lee, 23, and Aoki Lee, 20. I'm so sorry to have to do this, she wrote, but this man has been threatening my kids' lives. I'm hearing so much more now. We won't be bullied, threatened, or afraid. Leave my kids alone, she continued. This narrative of attacking the only caregiver, the only parent in the home with the kids, the mom and the kids, for one's shortcomings and embarrassments is dead. Dead, dead. The model also accused Russell of being abusive to the women in his life. Now let's stop there. If you guys haven't heard, I'm pretty sure you guys have. He has been accused many a times of abuse by many women. I think it's 3 in all. It's three women all together. But who knows, man? Who knows if it's true or not? Many women have came out around during the Me Too time, said that Russell Simmons sexually abused them and all this other craziness. And who knows if it's true or not, because we all know with this whole Me Too thing that a lot of women were lying and just trying to get attention because either their careers weren't where they wanted it to be, or they felt slighted in some way by the person that they were attacking, or who knows what the other issues are. But that's all that we know as of right now. So with that being said, let's continue. The same abusive ish, she wrote, this is how you maneuver with the women all around you. Your threats, lies, intimidation maneuvers, and tactics are sad. Stop it, please. Your flesh and blood, or I said that as a statement. Your flesh and blood. No, there you go. Now it's a question. Enough is enough. 18 women have previously accused Simmons of sexual misconduct. He denies all accusations. Well, shit happens. Aoki, who just graduated from Harvard, backed her mom, posting a video of Russell appearing to yell at her over FaceTime to her Instagram page. She hold on. She captioned it, "This is not hold on. Yeah, okay, yeah. This is not someone who will accept help. This is just one screen recording. Sorry, I don't always remember to press record. When he calls my friends, my boyfriend, anyone to get a chance to threaten or curse and go crazy." She also shared screenshots of text messages between her and her father to her Instagram story, where she said he's harassed her boyfriend and friends if she blocked him or took some space. Sorry. So let's get to those text messages. Why don't we? So here's a picture of Kimora Lee, Russell Simmons, all that other good shit. They're doing good. Anyway, here we go. So that's not the one I wanted to do yet. I think that's Kimora. All right, let's take these down here. Pretty sure that or did I read these already? I did read those already. So yeah. But I didn't read this one. So let's enlarge this. I'm sorry I have to do this. I'm so sorry I have to do this, but this man has been threatening my kids' lives. Oh yeah, I did read that. Anyway, so I was in the right place. All right, so here are the text messages of which she shared to her Instagram. Let's go through them. So basically, so I don't know what this is talking about, but we'll skip over the first one. So it says, "Don't make me regret introducing him to you." Literally broke. I guess that's what he said. So the caption on top of it says, "If I block him or some space, he'd harass my boyfriend, my friends, literally college students, children. I'm gonna block you. I don't want to talk about it. Certainty. Don't hold on. Yeah, certainty. Don't text my boyfriend." I guess she meant certain. Uh, because I respectfully took some space. I try not to block you because what if it's an emergency and you are my dad, and it ends there. So let's go to the next one. states, I'm out here praying for you and hoping everything goes well, and you call my mother a piece of shit. Neutral, my ass. I guess this is him talking. Neutral, my ass. I don't ever appear in your media, and your mother has stolen my money. I will get to that later. And the love of my kids, as she promised. She. I don't know what that says next to it. Actually is, or she is. But enough. I've I've had enough. I know I pitch testing. Can you hear me? Okay. Awful to me for years, and that's just true. What the hell is going on? All right, all right. Let's get this screenshot back up. Yeah. I have no hell's going on. All right, I guess it's up now. I hope it stays. All right, I'll continue. So some of these are so then it says she did not or she did not steal it. You lost it. She is a piece of shit. And he spelled peace wrong, spelled shit wrong, and yeah. Understand you lost it with your actions. All right. So let's keep going. Then it reads, Dad, I stopped talking to you because you were giving me panic attacks to the point I was placed on emergency medication every time we spoke. I cannot have a relationship with you until that stops. No one stops me from talking to you. My health does. I have to put that first. Every time I spoke to you, you would yell and scream about a legal situation that I cannot even respond to because I am not involved. I am your child, not your lawyer, uh, your ex-wife, any of it. I can do nothing. Yet you yell at me like it's my fault. You are putting so much anger and rage on me. Every phone call, cursing, screaming, and God knows what else. I'm sorry, but I cannot be the target of that. It's not fair. I got to the point. I got to the point. To the point. I her her hands must have been shaking when she was writing this. I got to the point. Let me just read it the way that she wrote it. I got to the point I could not hear your voice without having an anxiety attack. You have to at least respect I'm putting my health and well-being first. I believe this is the last one. And then she has this caption here. This picture with this caption on it. So let's get to it. Some of us do think he's mentally ill or experiencing something like dementia. He really acts like he hates and does not know his children frequently. Prior to his media issues, he was really the best dad ever and a great co-parent. He and my mom were best friends. We all defended him against anything, and then he suddenly turned on anyone who will let him lash out. It's a it's a really just terrifying change to watch. All right, so that is lasting, right? Yeah, that is lasting. So that's the last thing. All right, let's continue the article. In another thread, shown imply Inoki's mother has stolen his money. We all went through that. And they just go through all the threads I just went through. So moving on to, I believe this is Yahoo, but I didn't put it on here. But it's also in the description box if you want to reference it. So it says, it's been terrifying. Russell Simmons' daughter insists he's completely changed. So in this next video, she talks about that.
Me feel better if something was severely wrong, because this is just not the father that I know or the father that I've had. Like, to this day, I would never let a man talk any kind of way to me because my dad was always good to me, and then he just completely changed. So I just want to include that it could be that, and I don't know his mental situation, but like, he used to do kind of crazy stuff, and then say he had COVID, so we'd all call him, or if we'd say, hey, I need some space because all you do is tell me how awful I am and how I have my mom's awful, shitty, bitch ass cunt genetics. So, hey, look, I'm in school, and can you not harass me when I'm in school? He wasn't paying for school, by the way. Can you not harass me?
All right, that's it. So let's get to the article. Why did my music stop? Oh, there we go. All right, so let's get to the article. So Russell Simmons' daughters and ex-wife has taken to Instagram with claims that the music mogul has been emotionally abusive and increasingly volatile. Father's Day seemed to unearth some complacent emotions for Ming and Aoki Simmons and their mother, Kimora Lee Simmons. Each voiced grievances with the Simmons family patriarch. On Sunday, the eldest of the daughters, Ming 23, who graduated from New York University this year, posted a since deleted Instagram story wishing her mother a happy Father's Day rather than her dad. Okay, let's stick a pin in that. Shout out to Hotep Nation for Strong Dad June, because this is Strong Dad June. Why would you send your mother a happy Father's Day if your father is in your life? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But this is what she chose to do. She chose to basically that's a little shady, to be honest. Because okay, cool. Your mom was your primary caregiver, but your dad was there. Like, how you gonna sit there and be like, "Happy Father's Day, Mom"? Like, what? Why are you doing this on Instagram at that? I can see why he was infuriated, because he probably feels the same way as any man would feel when it comes to Father's Day, which is the least celebrated holiday of any year. It's like number 29 on like the most celebrated holidays. What comes before Father's Day is Halloween and something else. What's the most celebrated holiday is Christmas. I think the second I think the second most celebrated holiday is Easter, and then it's Mother's Day, which is number 3. And then long down the line, you have Father's Day. They don't even have good Father's Day sales. The only place that they have Father's Day sales is at Lowe's, uh, Home Depot, any menswear store. Probably you might get one at Best Buy, maybe. But that's it. All men are accustomed to getting is electronics, some bullshit ass socks we don't need, and underwear and ties. That's it. So instead of her going, well, thanks, Dad, for this, and that, and blah, 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 blah on Father's Day, it's Happy Father's Day, Mom. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Nah, that's pretty fucked up in my eyes, if you ask me. But let's keep going. Russell 65 then posted his own Instagram story sharing screenshot of Happy Father's Day messages coming from his nieces, Vanessa Simmons and Angela Simmons, as well as a quote that read, "Fathers have to hold on. The father you have is the perfect father for the evolution of your soul and the lessons that you needed to learn in this lifetime." Let's stop there. So his nieces, both fine as hell, but his nieces are giving him Father's Day praise, but his own children aren't. Do we see an issue at all with this? Why is my That's like if my niece texts me on Father's Day and wish me a happy Father's Day, knowing I live in a house full of kids. And none of my kids have said happy Father's Day to me. That's what that looks like. And nobody sees an issue with this. Nobody. Why not? Why don't you see an issue with this? It's self explanatory. Why are my nieces giving me Father's Day wishes, but the most I got on that day from my own kids was them saying happy birthday to their mother, aka my ex wife? Make sense of it. Make sense of it. Let's continue. According to TMZ, he also shared a since deleted Instagram story that blamed ex-wife Kimora Lee for the family fallout. The outlet reported that Kimora went live on Instagram Monday saying that she's had her ex-husband blocked on social media for a long time, but that he has continued to post in a way that implies the family is on good terms. The younger of the two daughters, Aoki, who recently graduated from, I guess it's Harvard University at 20 years old, shared FaceTime calls and text exchanges with her father in which the two argued, and Russell claimed that Aoki's mother stole his money and the love of his kids and calls Kimora a piece of shit. Well, is it true or is it not true? Because y'all got to remember what everybody else is reporting is basically what is being reported by everyone else. No one has yet to hit up Russell Simmons and ask him calmly to explain why he feels the way about Kimora Lee Simmons. How about we get that out in the open? How about we figure out why he feels the way that he feels so we can then understand why he's doing what he's doing. And then if it seems like it's some bullshit, let's give this man some help. Let's seek help for him. How about we do that for him? Because if it seems like it is outlandish of what he's doing to not only himself but his kids, then we should then be like, all right, I think that's a little too much. He needs to seek some help because he shouldn't be blaming his children for his shortcomings or the divorce of, from his ex-wife. So let's continue. I don't even know where I stopped. I stopped at. Let's see. Okay, here we go. This is not someone who will accept help. Aoki captioned a video that did not include sound but showed her dad appearing to scream at her via FaceTime. This is just one screen recording. Sorry, I don't always remember to press record when he calls my friends, my boyfriend, anyone to get a chance to threaten and curse and go crazy. She also posted a video of herself emotionally explaining, which I just showed, that although she and her dad used to be close, many of the family members now think that her dad has completely changed, and that she had multiple screen recordings and voice memos in which Russell doesn't sound like a human being. All right, let's stop there, right? How about we get his nieces and his nephews? I'm pretty sure they talk to Russell Simmons on a regular basis. So how about we get Russie, we get Diggy, we get, I forgot the other brother's name, and we get Vanessa and Angela. We get all five of them. We get all five of them. We get them to explain if what Aoki and Ming is saying is true, and Kimora. And then we'll get their account, and then we'll match it up with Kimora Lee, Aoki, and Ming's account, and then
go and reference what Russell said. Also, how about we bring Rev Run into this? Let's bring Rev Run. Does he think his brother's doing too much? If their older brother is still alive, let's bring him into this as well. Let's see what he thinks. Which he probably don't give a damn. He's probably well off in his 70s. He probably don't really give a damn. He's like, man, fuck what my brother's doing. But let's see what the rest of his family thinks about what he's doing. Because I'm pretty sure they all know. I'm pretty sure they talk. All right. She described him as She described him as shrieking and sounding possessed. She later posted to her Instagram stories to add, "Some of us do think he's mentally ill or experiencing something like dementia. He acts like he hates and does not know children frequently." She also wrote that he'd previously been really the best dad ever. She said he'd had a shift in behavior that was a terrifying change to watch. Kimora, 48, also shared a screenshot of a message that Aoki had sent to her father, in which she explained that she cut off contact with her dad because of the panic attacks she would have as a response to their interactions, revealing that she'd been prescribed an emergency medication due to the severity of her anxiety. Kimora wrote alongside the screenshot that no one should live like this, calling Russell's behavior abuse. The fashion designer posted multiple messages aimed at Russell on Monday. She claimed that her ex had been threatening my kids' lives. She also slammed Russell, saying he was projecting his own shortcomings and embarrassments onto others. The same abuse-ish, Kimora continued. This is how you maneuver with the world and women all around you. And I won't go on because I already said that. Let's see. What's this last part? This is not the first time the Def Jam recording co-founder who signed hip-hop giants, the Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, Public Enemy, Kanye West, to name a few, has been accused of abuse. Over the last decade, Russell has been accused of rape and sexual assault on numerous occasions. Simmons, in a 2017 statement to The Times, denied the claims of women. These news stories range from the patently untrue to fiberless and harmless claims. He said, I want to restate categorically what I have said previously. I have never been violent or abusive to any woman in any way at any time in my life, in my entire life. The story originally appeared in the Los Angeles Times. Let's get to some juicy shit. Russell Simmons speaks out after he's ripped by daughters. So Russell Simmons has apologized to his daughters for being frustrated and yelling, but did not directly address allegations of emotional abuse. In a post, he told his girls, "I love you guys more than I love myself," but they have yet to respond. Drama erupted after Father's Day when his ex Kimora Lee Simmons and their two children, Aoki Simmons and Ming Simmons, went public with their grievances. Aoki shared upsetting text messages allegedly sent from the Def Jam co-founder, along with a muted video that appeared to show him berating her on FaceTime. Here's what's going on. So Russell publicly responds. The entrepreneur apologized on Instagram, writing, "God is testing you a little bit. It's okay. Be strong. They are uh, they are called growing pains. As you know, we grow through adversity and struggle." He shared, adding, "Remember, smile and breathe." Russell added he was deeply sorry for yelling. All right, this isn't the first time Russell has been accused of abuse. Now, here's the juicy shit. So, Fat Farm founder was accused of rape and sexual assault by multiple women in 2007. Amid the Me Too movement, he denied all allegations. Excuse me. These news stories range from the patently untrue and frivolous and harmful claims. He told LA Times, "I want to restate categorically what I have said previously. I have never been violent to any woman in any way at any time in my entire life." Russell was the subject of the HBO documentary On the Record, which chronicled the decision of some of his accusers, including former Def Jam executive Drew Dixon, to come forward. In 2021, Russell sued Kimora and her former husband, investment banker Timothy Leisner, for fraud and alleged they stole millions worth of stock without permission. Kimora then publicly accused Russell of exonerative harassment and serial abuse. Due to the lawsuit, his claim was ultimately dismissed, and after a year of contention, a judge ruled Russell had to pay over $100,000 to cover her legal fees. So that's what's going on with all of this. People are frustrated. Well, within that little family, Russell's frustrated, probably at Kimora, because he felt as though that she stole money. Is it true? We don't know. But if it is true, then that's some bullshit. I will say this. If she did steal the money with her ex, Timothy Leisner, then maybe they was falling on hard times. And maybe she needed that money. Like, you gotta look at it like that, at like a robbery standpoint. Like, if somebody was holding you with a gun and was like, "Give up all your fucking money, motherfucker, I'm gonna shoot you." It's like, all right, maybe he needs this shit more than what I will. Most people would be like, "Well, I would never give my money up to somebody." Okay, cool. But you gotta still look at it. If someone's robbing you, maybe they need it more than what you needed it. So either give up on it, or shoot they bitch ass. All right, shit. Don't sit there and get your shit taken. The fuck wrong with y'all?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
But that closes the main topic of today. Hope you guys learned something from that. But let's move into some random topics. Today's random topics is juicy as fuck, so please stick around. So the overview of the random topics of the week is Hunter Biden pleads guilty. Well, I hope he goes to jail. And something strange going on at Wuhan. So let's get into this. So I got this article from NBC News, and it states Hunter Biden agrees to plead guilty. So with this video that I'm about to play, they are going to get into what's actually going on with all of this. Let's see what's going on.
This is just coming into us. Fox has confirmed that Hunter Biden has reached a deal with federal prosecutors to plead guilty to 2 minor tax charges and a gun charge. These terms will likely keep him out of jail. No word on when Hunter will appear in court to enter his guilty plea.
All right. So, that's all. Let's get into this article. So legal experts say the charges
brought against President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, are rarely prosecuted under a plea deal reached with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Delaware, which is probably in Newcastle County, to be honest. So, is this a federal case? Because if not, I can go and sit in on some of the proceedings. All right, so under the plea deal with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Delaware, an office headed by Donald Trump's appointee David Wise, Hunter Biden will plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor charges of failing to pay taxes, which he later reimbursed. Biden also faces a felony gun charge of possession of a firearm by a person who is an unlawful user of an addicted to any controlled substance. Also, but it is likely to be dismissed if he meets certain conditions under the plea agreement, according to court documents. Let's stop there. This nigga is on his goddamn laptop, smoking crack. Not only that, he is shown weighing the crack. Not only that, this motherfucker is seen in countless videos and pictures of him with hookers. What can you not get this man on? Like, this man is dirty. This man is dirtier than the crackheads that are in fucking Wilmington, Delaware right now. This motherfucker bust 2 hookers from New York City down somewhere in Delaware, probably Wilmington, because that's the nearest train station. Bust 2 fucking hookers, and they smoking crack, and he on video. This nigga's in hyper deprivation chambers, smoking crack. No, I'm sorry, flotation chambers, smoking crack. This nigga's on. I played a video when I talked about this before. This motherfucker yelling at, I guess, his financial advisor or something like that, talking about, did you put the money through or not, blah, 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 Jesus Christ, whatever, right? And then after he hangs up the phone, because the motherfucker's recording himself, this nigga sparks his crack pipe up. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what the hell is happening? But it's a possibility that this motherfucker might walk. Are you serious? Are you serious? Look, the gun possession charge, that's not even the half. This motherfucker should be charged for illegal disposal of the gun, of which his mother did, in a school trash dumpster. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this man he's been caught red-handed. He's dead to rights. Lock him up. But he's going to walk. Are you serious? Are you serious? Wow. Let's move forward. The federal gun charge, which makes it unlawful for a drug addict to possess a weapon, is a rarely used statute that is facing legal challenges and has recently been used as a catch-all charge against white supremacists. I don't even know what the fuck that has to do with anything. Like the gun charge, the tax charges are rarely brought against first-time offenders and even more rarely result in jail time. Andrew Wiseman, a former FBI general counsel and NBC News contributor, tweeted Tuesday. This is if anything harsh, not lenient, he wrote. Former federal prosecutor Renato Mararati agreed. Renato Mararati, I guess that's how you say it. It's insult the intelligence of the American people to compare misdemeanor tax charges to a scheme to steal top secret documents and obstruct justice when the government asks for them back. I'll get back to that in a minute. He tweeted comparing the charges against Hunter Biden to the recent federal indictment of former President Donald Trump. All right, let's talk about that. How about we talk about the documents of which Biden wasn't supposed to fucking have in his garage? How about we get to that? He wasn't president at the time when he took those goddamn documents. He was the vice president, and the vice president doesn't have that goddamn authority. Only the president does, of which Donald Trump had the authority. Now, all the black people who's watching me right now, oh, is he a Trumper? Oh, no, stop. I'm a free thinker, although I do have conservative leaning ideologies. Not all, but some. But I will say this. Let me get back to so top secret documents, blah 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 blah. All right. So with that being said, they want to give Donald Trump 100 years because he had the authority underneath of the Presidential Authorities Act, I believe it's called, of which he can declassify certain documentation to bring into his possession. They're trying to give him 100 years for it. But the president's son, who has been on camera, get this, he was on camera, not only smoking crack, but weighing crack as well. Let's not get into how his family's so fucking corrupt that not too long ago, which I reported that one of his, I think it was his aunt, that received some sort of payment from the CCP. Or was it Ukraine? I can't remember. I think it was from the CCP. Not only that, his uncle is dirty as fuck as well. Not only that, his fucking father went, while being vice president, told a Ukrainian DA, I believe, or something like that, that if they didn't get rid of, no, I forgot who, I guess it was like a council member or something like that, that if they didn't get rid of the DA, that they wouldn't receive some sort of like money payment or something like that for something. Not only that, you see where I'm getting with this? Not only that, Hunter Biden was on the board of Burisma getting paid $50,000 a fucking month by being there, which was all a ruse for Joe Biden. He was getting that money. Cause if you don't know, Hunter Biden and Joe Biden somehow, which is illegal, was sharing bank accounts. How the fuck do you do that? How is that legal? But they want to put Donald Trump away for 100 fucking years when this whole fucking Biden crime family has done so much dirt and is coming out that nobody wants to listen to it because Joe Biden's the president. Like, are y'all fucking dumb? Are y'all smoking fucking crack yourselves? This motherfucker, Joe Biden, by way of Hunter Biden, is fucking corrupt. The whole entire family's corrupt. Why you think that just a little while ago, which was just this week, I believe, I think it was the United States Treasury just reported
that they had an error and they were going to be giving $6.2 billion of aid to Ukraine. Where the fuck is that money? Like, that's our tax money that's going to Ukraine, y'all. But y'all don't care because y'all want to be fucking draped in rainbows and all kinds of shit because Joe Biden is the best thing that's ever happened to this country. Are y'all fucking high? Are you high? Like, this shit this shit don't get no better. Now this motherfucker's being indicted on 2 charges, a gun charge and tax charges, of which the FBI general counsel basically said, you know, the tax thing, you don't, as a first offender, that shit gets swept underneath the rug. Now they gotta look at the gun charge. Let's see if he'll go away. And let's say he'll probably get like 5 years from that, be off within a year and a half. Because he's not going to go to a normal state penitentiary in Delaware. There's only what 2? There's one in Wilmington, Delaware, Gander Hill, and then you got the one in Sussex County. He's not going to go down there. He's going to be in fucking Gander Hill, probably in a nice little suite, having fun. But he probably won't even see jail time. He'll probably get probation, and that's it. So I believe he will walk because he is the current president's son. But they want to charge a former president for doing everything that he did by the book. Now, I will say this. If Donald Trump was to have taken those documents illegally, then yes, he deserves to be in jail. But how can you operate outside of the law if he has the authority to fucking do what he did? He had the authority. He's the leader of the country. Well, he was the leader of the country, people. He has certain authorities that he can enact at any given moment by way of Congress. But nobody understands this country's laws. Let's just go on. If anything, Hunter Biden was treated harshly. Those crimes are rarely charged. The gun charge itself is under legal threat. A federal appeals court ruled in June that the government cannot ban those convicted of non-violent crimes for possessing a weapon, and a federal court in Texas recently ruled following a major Supreme Court case last year that expanded gun rights, that the ban on drug users possessing weapons violates the Second Amendment. But hold on, I got to rant once more. Do y'all know that that Kodak Black's counsel, his lawyer, stated that this was the same charge that Kodak Black was under when he got thrown in jail, of which Donald Trump pardoned him. He only did what, like 10 or 11 months in jail, and Donald Trump pardoned him or whatever, and he got released. These are the same charges that Kodak Black had. But check this. The reason why Kodak Black got convicted is because he had prior convictions. That's the only reason why he got locked up. Now, with this whole Hunter Biden shit, it's the FBI counsel is saying, well, there's a possibility he might walk. And y'all don't see an issue with this. Whew, this country's going to hell in a handbasket. Okay. The charge, when brought,
has often been used in high-profile cases where the underlying conduct doesn't violate any obvious federal criminal statute. Last week, the mother of a 6-year-old boy who shot his teacher in Newport News, I believe I reported that, Virginia, pleaded guilty to the charge of possessing a firearm while using marijuana, along with a charge of making a false statement. The charge has resulted in serious prison time in other cases. A 23-year-old from Waterloo, Iowa, was recently sentenced to nearly 5 years in federal prison for possessing a for possession as a drug user, while another 23-year-old in Lincoln, Nebraska. Give me a second. Received 3 years in federal prison on the charge. Other sentences have been as harsh. A man arrested during a burglary call in Vermont in May 2020 received a sentence of time served in March 2023. There are undoubtedly other recent cases, but those that resulted in non-substantial sentences are also less likely to be mentioned in press releases issued by the U.S. Attorney's Office. The charge has also recently been used against white supremacists when their conduct did not provide an obvious violation of any other criminal statute, including against a white supremacist who was arrested in Washington D.C. and found with a stash of weapons after his brother died by suicide. In that case, a federal public defender who had been working for 30 years since he never had a case in which the government went forward with the addict in possession charge. So basically, people, what this is saying is that if you own a gun, you haven't had any sort of prior convictions or anything, you don't have any sort of jacket. Like myself, if I probably, I own a gun, but I don't use any sort of, illegal substances. But if I would have, since I have a prior, they'll probably throw me away for 5, maybe 10 years. But, in Maryland, not only do you get charged for the gun, you also get charged for each bullet. So I believe that's everywhere. I think that's a federal law, but you get charged for each bullet. So, each bullet I think is 5 to 10 years. So I'll be going away for a long period of time. So just saying. Let's keep going. A judge concurred that the charge was unusual. The white supremacist was ultimately sentenced to time served after less than a year behind bars. Chuck Rosenberg, a former top federal prosecutor and acting administrator of the U.S. Chuck Rosenberg, a former top federal prosecutor and acting administrator of the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, and a current NBC News legal analyst, noted that the addict in possession charge is used sparingly, but said that did not mean it was it was used improperly in Hunter Biden's case, as each case needed to be evaluated on the individual evidence. Paul Butler, a former federal prosecutor and a NBC News legal analyst, let me slow down a little bit, said on MSNBC on Tuesday that the deal Hunter Biden reached was a decent outcome for the president's son, but not the sweetheart deal that Trump and his allies have made it out to be. While the plea agreement spells out the prosecutor will recommend a probationary sentence. What the fuck did I just say? What the fuck did I just say earlier? I said he'll get probation. He will get probation. That's it. He'll be at home, ankle monitor, checking in every fucking month or week, depending on how they do it. And that's it. He'll be home, smoking his crack, doing what he usually does. That's it. But anyway, the federal judge who ultimately sentenced Hunter Biden is not bound to that agreement, and could ultimately decide that the charge warrants incarceration. Court dates have not yet been set in this case, of which that's not true. I believe towards the end of July, I believe July 27th. Let me check my calendar, see what day that is. So July 27th is a Thursday. I believe that's when he's due back in court. July 27th. So once that ramps up, I'll get back to this. But this is a bunch of bullshit. This is why. And I love talking about this political shit. But this is a bunch of bullshit. This is why. Because if the Biden laptop story doesn't spark anybody's interest, it should be for him being on camera. You can't say, oh, well, we don't know if he was smoking crack. Bitch, it's in his goddamn laptop if he was smoking crack or not. How the fuck you gonna say you don't know if this motherfucker was smoking crack? Number two, you can't say that the motherfucker didn't have a gun because the motherfucker had a gun. And it was illegally disposed of by his mother at a school. Can't have guns at school, so why won't Jill Biden get charged as well for having possession of a gun on school grounds? That's illegal. I don't know if anybody knows that. That's illegal. Anyway, moving on to the next story. Chinese military scientist thrown to his death at Wuhan lab for leaking COVID lab information. Article by Perth Now. Now, my connection might go crazy and haywire after this because we're talking about the coronavirus, basically. But with that being said, I don't want to keep you any much longer. Let's get into this video of this whole explanation of everything that's going on. And towards the end of the part that I'm gonna cut it at, it goes into what I just said. So let's
you're watching News at 7 with me, Nivedna Prabhu. Nearly 3 years after the COVID pandemic emerged, a new report has revealed that 3 scientists were carrying out risky experiments on coronaviruses in a Wuhan lab. Now, according to the report, the scientist, Ben Hu, was conducting risky tests at the Wuhan Institute of Virology with 2 colleagues, Ping Yu and Yan Zhu. The report alleges that the 3 scientists fell ill with COVID-like symptoms and needed hospital care weeks before China disclosed the virus outbreak to the world. Several US government officials have now identified the 3 scientists in the report. But what does this state and what can it potentially mean on the global stage as well? To take that conversation further, I have Jamie Metzel, founder and chair of the global social movement One Shared World, joining me on the broadcast. Jamie, thank you very much for taking the time out and joining us here on Mirror Now. Let me begin by asking you, the new bombshell revelations about the probable patient zero have reignited the global debate around the COVID lab leak. In fact, you were among the first experts to talk about the lab origins and term these developments a smoking gun. Why do you say so?
So these are very serious allegations. They're not yet proven, but should it be proven that these three researchers at the Wuhan Institute of Virology were the first people to be infected with the SARS-CoV-2 virus, that would be definitive proof that the pandemic stems from a research-related accident in Wuhan. It's not yet proven. These are very serious allegations. The United States government, it will be releasing declassified documents this week, and hopefully that will shed more light on this very, very important topic.
All right, let me stop there. This is why I did a story, or I did a podcast, and one of the random topics was on the Wuhan leak debacle, right? I showed you guys a picture in that, and that picture was this. It was a freezer that was in the Wuhan lab that had built up ice along where the gasket to close the freezer door wouldn't allow it to actually close all the way. So what I basically said was that it's a little odd that, it's like that and no one's trying to chip this shit off. And not only that, it's a possibility that from the freezer to the room temperature might have melted some of that ice to where it affected it affected the integrity of the freezer, to where some of this coronavirus could have gotten leaked from that freezer, to where all of those scientists that were working with the virus firsthand got infected first, and they're all patient zero. So it was just a thought. It was just a little, take that I had on it. And to be honest, no one's brought it up. I can't say it hasn't been proven wrong yet, but hey, I would love to know if that could be a causation of why, we had to be shut down for 3 years. But let's continue. Let's see what this expert has to say other than what's going on with the Wuhan leak theory.
Right, Jamie, but for common viewer, could you throw light on gain of function when it comes to study on viruses, and what are the possible risks around it?
All right, before he answers, we all know Dr. Fauci said that there was no gain of function going on at Wuhan, but he has then been proven. He has then, or since then, has been proven wrong, because it came out that not only was gain of function going on, he was funding it. So the whole reason why the whole pandemic happened, or plandemic, however you want to see it, happened, was because of the very man that we look to for guidance. Your man, Dr. Fauci. But, although it was illegal, he couldn't do it. It wasn't supposed to happen. Our tax dollars paid for it. But for some reason, he lied to us for 3 fucking years. And not only that, he just resigned and stepped down from his role as lead as lead virologist of the United States, but he's still continuing his work at I guess at the NIH, I guess. Let's continue.
So gain of function is a broad term. Anyone who is getting gene therapy, anyone who is has been inoculated with an mRNA vaccine has been the beneficiary of quote unquote gain of function research. Within gain of function research, there is a much narrower area of gain of function research on pathogens of pandemic potential. And the controversy here is whether that type of research was being done at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which we know that it was, and whether any accidents were made in that process. And that's why this is so controversial. And that's why everybody on Earth, and certainly everybody in India, whatever the official numbers are, the actual numbers of COVID deaths in India are probably around 4 million people. And everybody in India has a relative who was died or affected by COVID-19. We should all be demanding full transparency and accountability on the origins issue. Again, the circumstantial evidence so far, in my view, weighs heavily in the direction of a research-related origin, but we need to keep digging.
Right, but the doctor who is mentioned as the alleged patient zero has disappeared from the scene days after the revelations. Do you think Beijing's cover-up continue till date around COVID origins, in your opinion?
Beijing's cover-up from day one has been an international crime of historic proportions, in my view. They have destroyed evidence, hidden samples, prevented a meaningful international investigation. They have imprisoned Chinese journalists for asking the most basic questions. They have a gag order preventing Chinese scientists from saying or writing anything about pandemic origins without prior government approval. And it goes on and on to this day. China will do everything to prevent the kind of full accountability for COVID-19 origins that's required. And that's why the rest of us, including the Indian government, the American government, and everybody, need to do everything possible to push for and vocally demand answers.
All right. So, with that, let me take like a 2-minute break. I'll be right back. I have to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Take 2. All right. So let's get into this article. A Chinese scientist who was reportedly thrown to his death from the roof of a Wuhan institute is at the center of mounting evidence that the COVID pandemic resulted from a lab leak. Intelligence obtained by the U.S. Senate revealed that, I guess you say this, Zhu Yusen, filed a patent for our COVID-19 vaccine on February 24th, 2020, barely a month after China put Wuhan into lockdown because of the outbreak. U.S. vaccine developers told investigators that it would have been impossible to have generated the data cited in the patent so swiftly, it would have taken about 3 months of work, meaning that scientists at the Wuhan Institute of Virology were secretly working on a COVID vaccine in November at the least. So, the way that he got the patent through so damn fast is because of US tax dollars. Yeah, I said it. United States fucking tax dollars is how this guy got to get that patent through. Because, when you grease certain palms, shit happens a little faster than usual. I don't know if you guys know that or not. You grease some palms, shit gets done real quick. So, he had the fundage by the from Fauci by way of the NIH, and I forgot the other. It's the NIH or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, he, this guy Zhu Yusin got his shit through faster than usual because he had the United States. What was Fauci's job? The United States, the lead virologist, so it would be the United States Virology Administration, maybe. So anyway, so Zhu, who worked for the People's Liberation Army and was collaborating with Wuhan Scientists at the time of the outbreak, died in mysterious circumstances in May 2020. Age 54, U.S. investigators are said to have been told Zhu fell from the roof of the institute. Although this has not been confirmed, his death has led to speculation in the scientific community that he was silenced to stop from revealing the truth about the true nature and timing of the outbreak, i.e., the CCP and probably a lot of other governments basically told China, kill that motherfucker before the truth comes out, because we got shit to do over here, man. So they did what they had to do. Where did I? Okay, in April 2020, the Mail on Sunday said the first mainstream outlet in the world to reveal fears that the virus had leaked from China laboratory after a member of Cobra, the government's secret emergency committee, said ministers were studying intelligence about an accident at the institute. It was dismissed by China and Western governments scared to upset Beijing as a conspiracy theory. Now the report by the Senate Health Committee has highlighted there was a marked increase in cases of flu-like illness in Wuhan in October and November. Do y'all remember that back in 2019? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember in October? I remember it vividly. I remember in November. Well, no, it was spoken of first in October. I believe Fox News had it on one of their programs. It was like they probably spent like maybe 5 minutes on it. They was like, hey, it's a weird illness in China going on. It's giving people flu-like symptoms and stuff like that. So everybody, if you're traveling to China, make sure you stay safe and you stay healthy or whatever. Drink your vitamin C and make sure you're taking your vitamins and stuff like that. I remember that. I remember that. And then in November of that year, there was probably a 2-day long, if not a 3-day long report
about people falling ill in China and no one knows what it's from. People were coming to the hospitals with this illness, and basically the doctor was doing this. Now, you know you really fucked up when a doctor does this. So, after that, it never was spoken of again until like maybe around like Christmas time of that year and around New Year's, like it fell like right in the middle, and then it was never spoken of again. And then mid-February, it was spoken of again to where it was in more countries at that point, and people was like falling ill everywhere else with the same flu-like symptoms, and no one knew what the hell was going on. And then in March, that's when it started really ramping up of 2020. It really started ramping up after that. And then mid-March, we go on lockdown. Fauci comes on and say, yeah, we're going to lock down for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks turned into 3 years. And then, people's family members started dying. And, we was trying to figure out what the hell is going on. There was a lot of conspiracy theories that were said that had came true. And everybody was calling the conspiracy theorists kooks, and they didn't know what they was talking about, and why are y'all listening to conspiracy theorists, to where last year everything came out to be true that the conspiracy theorists was talking about. Why was that even a thing to where conspiracy theorists were then seen as truth tellers? Because conspiracy theorists have been reading about governments. Conspiracy theorists have been saying for years that governments were going to release a virus upon the people with no hesitation and with no regard to the people, to where people will fall ill and some would die from it. And it all came true. And now it's cover-up time. After that, it was cover-up time. Well, we don't want this information getting out about it because you never know what might get said about it, or we don't want this to happen because this and that and blah 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 blah. And it was all this secret shit going on. Till this day, it's still happening. But at the same time, we were right the entire fucking time. And it's like, here's the convenience of this. We were supposed to get the origins report of the coronavirus, I think, this week. But for some reason, the person who is supposed to report that to us is in Beijing. If not Beijing, what's the place that China's trying to conquer? Taiwan. I think it's in Taiwan right now. Ain't that convenient? Ain't that convenient? We were supposed to get a report of not only just verbal, but a written report of what they found to be true. We was, all of us were supposed to see where we get that at, us.gov. And we were supposed to then find out, all the shit, and then everybody who do political podcasts or conspiracy podcasts or podcasts like mine was supposed to come on here and tell the people what's actually going on, because we read all 2,000 pages, because it's probably 2,000 pages, and we We were supposed to tell y'all what's actually going on, what they lied about, what they didn't lie about, so on and so forth, right? But conveniently, this motherfucker's in Taiwan or Beijing, one of the two. He's somewhere in Asia or in China. And we're not getting that report. That's crazy. Moving on. So, satellite images showed vehicles jammed around hospitals in the city on November 19th. The safety director of the Chinese Academy of Sciences visited the institute, addressing its leaders with important oral and written instructions from President Xi Jinping on a complex and serious situation. Earlier this year, the director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, said the FBI has for quite some time now assesses that the origins of the pandemic are most likely a potential lab incident in Wuhan. And last week, it was reported that 3 of the Wuhan scientists who generally altered the COVID virus were the first to fall sick with it. And I'll get back to that after I finish this article. The researchers' case is expected to feature in the material being released by the U.S. Director of National Intelligence, that's the person I was talking about, in the coming days, of which he's not here to do it. But what did I say earlier? The 3 people who were there fucking with the virus was in the room, the same room that had that ice buildup over the gasket that was in the virology lab, where they was fucking with it to where it wasn't closing all the way to where, should I say this again? They was fucking with it. The shit leaked out. It was in the room. It was in their clean room, because I work in a clean room myself. It was in their clean room. They probably wasn't wearing the proper PPE to fuck with the virus to where they fell ill, to where it doesn't really matter because it probably leaked in their gowning area. So if it was leaked in their gowning area, that means in all clean rooms you have positive pressure in the room, of which you have a ventilation system that not only sucks out the air that's in the room to clean it, filter it, and then bring it back into the room. What would you think that the virus was doing if we wore a face mask? And Dr. Fauci said that it doesn't matter if you wear a mask at all because the particles are so small it can just pass through the mask. What do you think in one of those industrial filters it was doing? It's just a thought. It's just a thought. But for all of us conspiracy theorists, I'm a conspiracy theorist just a little bit. But for all of us who told you so, damn it, we told you so. But that concludes tonight's show, people. Let me do a brief summary. So I went over the banter portion with the Dr. Umar video. Then I showed a reflecting video afterwards about what he was talking about, and I basically blamed us all in the black community for why we act the way that we act, and I don't strain from it. If we don't stop the fuck shit that we're doing in this community, if we don't stop the infighting, because we're starting to look stupid, to be honest. If we don't stop this, then we might as well just go ahead and tell whomever to go ahead and shackle us up, because we're ready for slavery again. We don't know how to act in public no more, or on the internet. Anyway, with the whole Russell Simmons thing, like, I feel as though that it's more to this story than what's being presented, and I feel as though that his own family members, his own flesh and blood, his brothers, even maybe their wives as well, and his nieces and nephews should come out and basically be like, well, yeah, I feel as though that my uncle's ill, or no, there's nothing wrong with my uncle. Like he's the whatever that they'll say, and put this shit to bed. But one thing that was said, I believe, on her post, on the youngest post, that's Aoki. Aoki basically was told by several people, "Hey, yo, this don't look good. Take this down. Take all these posts down. This don't look good." And I don't know if she obliged, but who knows. But then we get into the random portions to where Hunter Biden is basically about to fucking walk from some shit that can be proven. It can be proven. Doesn't matter if he's a first time offender at all. Look, with black drug dealers, they give them football numbers. So it's like, why not do the same thing to him? He's in his 50s. He'll die in jail, or he'll live lavishly. So it really doesn't fucking matter. But anyway, with this whole Wuhan lab leak shit, we told you so. So I don't know what the big fuss is. But that concludes today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. We're about to get out of here because there's nobody here. So with that being said, let me get into a few promotions and then let's get on out of here. So, people, if you could do me this one favor, please go over or go to go to the description box and make sure you go to that Rumble link. If you don't have Rumble already, download it right now. Go to my Rumble channel and subscribe. I think I need like 15 more people so I can start simulcasting over there. So I will be doing this stream and that stream at the same time. So please do me that favor. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and subscribe to this here channel here on YouTube. Hit the bell icon to all, like this video, share this video. And also, please do me a favor, share my channel too, alright? Do me that one solid. Also, every Friday and Saturday I do a show, but my Friday show is on hiatus as of, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Until I find some new games to play that I enjoy, it's going to be postponed until then. So probably not until either late August, early June, or early September. I'll probably be back. But it's giving me a nice time off that I needed. I get to do 1 stream a week, so it helps me relax a little more than what I was when I was doing 2 streams a week. But I'm ready to get back to 2 streams because I'm getting bored over here on the weekends. So please do me that one favor. Please follow me. Those shows usually come on at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, both Friday and Saturday. But with this new me, I'm switching days every week. So it could be either Friday I'm doing my podcast or Saturday. But the usual days are Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if I can start getting my research done early, I might switch my days to where the game streams on Saturday and the podcast is on Friday. I want to compete because this Friday thing, I like it. I like doing this on Friday. So I like to compete with everybody who's doing their shows right now. Shout out to the 3Gs that I think just went off not too long ago. But y'all going over to 3Gs and GMS and also Playa AP YouTube channels. All right. Also, if you ever want to come up here and speak to me, you can. There's always a link in the comment section, all right? Please do yourself a favor, hit that link, or if you don't want to be seen on camera, call the number, all right? Call the number. Always have the number open to where you guys can call in, so if you want to call in, you can. We can talk about all the topics that I present at the time. But if you do that, there are rules. The rules are, please silence all background noise. I'm sorry. You must be on camera at all times. You don't be on camera. You don't have to, other than here in the backstage. You have to be. Answer the question that I have back here, and I will accommodate you from there. All right? And third, mute all background noise because we're trying to run out of this semi-professional show here, so I would like if you could do me that favor. Accommodate me so I can accommodate you. And also, if you could, please like this video, share this video, subscribe if you're new here, hit that bell icon to all. And I only have one last thing to say, and that is, we all know money makes the world go round, so focus on getting to the money. Also, drink more water. It's for health purposes. Also, please mind your own business. It's for mental health purposes. And if you didn't believe a damn thing I said tonight, do your own research. It helps you out in the long run. I've been Marcus. This has been Marcus Speaks Live. I thank y'all for being here, and I thank y'all for watching. I'll check you guys out next week. Peace out.